The Tower of London has many dark stories and many more dark secrets. One of the most famous of these is that of the princes in the tower. The prince's father, Edward IV, died unexpectedly on the 9th of April 1483. Upon his death, his eldest son Edward was only 12 years of age, and therefore was too young to rule on his own. This naturally meant that a regency would be needed, and despite his wife's open hostilities to the idea, the king appointed his brother, Richard Duke of Gloucester, as Lord Protector. Acting quickly upon his brother's death, Richard and his men intercepted young Edward from his mother and took him under their own custody, placing him in the Tower of London. His reasoning for this is clear. Richard openly disputed the prince's legitimacy to the crown, claiming that Edward IV was betrothed to another woman before marrying Elizabeth Woodville, consequently claiming their marriage and children as illegitimate. With this in mind, Richard naturally was next in line to be King of England. Whether the claim by Richard of the prince's legitimacy to the throne was a feeble attempt to claim the throne for himself has been highly argued and widely believed. However, historian Professor Michael Jones has argued that Edward IV himself was illegitimate, stating that his legal father was over 100 miles away from his mother at the time when he must have been conceived. Therefore, the princes would be illegitimate also. Despite this question over legitimacy, it is clear that Richard wanted the throne for himself. Therefore, did he really kill the princes in the tower? After a notable drop in sightings, the princes disappeared around June of 1483. The major suspect undoubtedly was Richard III, but even to this day there is much controversy as to whether he was the culprit. If the princes were already claimed illegitimate, did Richard really need to kill them off as well? Furthermore, before Richard himself was king, he had shown great family loyalty and already had public opinion on his side. Was it worth the risk? Considering this information, other suspects have also been considered in playing a part in the prince's murder. Henry Stafford, Duke of Buckingham, was Richard's brother-in-law, but also the third in line to the Lancastrian succession and cousin to Henry Tudor. David Ross has suggested that Buckingham may have killed the princes to discredit Richard, thus furthering his cousin's ambitions and his own eventual rise to power. To add further confusion, a man named James Tyrrell confessed to the crime under torture, but did not provide any specific information about why he did it. Was this the truth, or was the confession merely in order to spare himself from any more excruciating pain? The only truth we can fathom from this mystery is that in 1674 two childlike skeletons were discovered in the tower at the base of the staircase. From this point, and until this day, the main consensus is that these skeletons are of the two princes. How exactly these skeletons came to be buried in the tower, and what and who exactly caused their death, however, will remain a mystery for many years to come.